Baby, if you did not watch last night's recap of Married to Medicine with Quad as the topic du jour, okay? Between Carlos and Dr. Heavenly last night, y'all missed out. Thankfully, the evidence is still up on the YouTube pages, okay, for both Dr. Heavenly and Carlos King. Now, let's talk about what we gleaned from this particular recap, other than the sheer amusement, okay, and me sitting on the edge of my seat watching these two go at it, okay? Because Dr. Heavenly had a lot to say. The ladies of Married to Medicine are, I don't want to say they fighting for their lives at this moment because that's not really the case. But I do feel like they are in the heat of battle, okay, with fan reactions on both sides of the fence with regards to Quad being asked to leave the group trip, okay? So let's get into it. The main topic that was really hit hard over and over and over again, and I wanted to use a visual from our friends over at the Jasmine brand because the topic du jour was the idea that Carlos King was being biased in his interview with Quad that aired after the episode. Now, for me, it was interesting because Dr. Heavenly felt like Carlos wasn't holding Quad's feet to the fire in the same way that he does to her on their weekly recaps. So for me, I will tell you, like, just to give you guys, you know how we always tend to break it down. I don't feel like I learned a lot of new information last night because I felt like the two of them were in such a heated debate about different points and aspects of, Quad's interview with him. And I felt like there were things that Dr. Heavenly wanted to get off of her chest or correct from that interview. But I disagree with her stance that she needed that he needed to hold Quad accountable. I don't really feel like that was the goal. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, when I'm doing an interview, my goal is not to hold nobody accountable. Like, I'm not the accountability police. My goal when I go into an interview is to ask the questions that A, I feel like I want to know, and B, you guys may want to know. And also to give a voice to a person who may not have had the most opportunity to really speak from their perspective, right? So back in the day, I remember doing an interview with the cookie lady, okay? The folks went ham, not really ham, but the folks was up in arms because they were like, they didn't like her or whatever the case may be. And they were like, well, you didn't hold her accountable. And I'm like, that wasn't really my mission. My mission was to find out why was she there in the first place, how it all came about, and what the truth from her perspective was, right? And then I leave that to you to make your own determinations about what it is that you want. So when I go into an interview, my goal is to ask questions, get those questions answered, and allow you guys to gauge what you feel about their responses. Everybody who interviews has different objectives, right? So you just have to understand what the interviewer's objectives are. And I felt like I have not spoken to him about this, but my general thought is that he wanted to allow Quad the opportunity to speak about how she felt, what she saw, what maybe we didn't see, and to get things from her perspective and to allow her to clarify anything that needed to be clarified because she had not spoken about it in terms of putting her voice to her thoughts, right? We've seen her, make comments on Instagram. We've seen, those types of things, but that's not really getting any clarity on much. Now, I'm not saying that we got everything that we needed to get from Quad during the interview, because there will be a part two, which will premiere on Thursday. However, what I will say is it was nice to hear, some of her thoughts about some of the things that were out there. So for me, I felt like I left satisfied. Now, do I agree with Dr. Heavenly that Quad may have skirted around a couple of things? You betcha. Okay. I do. I do. I feel like, I don't think she was very direct with some of her responses to the ladies in the episode when asked specifically about certain things, like with regards to the allegations against Toya and her family, which seemed to be the engine for which a lot of this, in regards to how at least Dr. Simone and Toya are concerned, it seems like that's sort of the thing that I'm assuming that they really wanted her to apologize for and own. And because she never did that, I felt like you can't beat an apology out of somebody. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Quad did herself any favors, but I don't think that I don't do I think that Carlos was biased in that interview? I don't think that I don't think I would have done anything different. That's what I'm saying. And I haven't seen the entire thing, so I can't give you the full perspective. But what I can say is that I do feel like he created a space for her that felt safe enough for her to talk, which is what you want to do. Like, so this is my thought, and just to give you guys perspective on just interviewing in general. And I this is what I studied. Okay, this is what I went to school for. This is what I went to undergrad for. Um, you I always feel like an interview, you are inviting someone into a space and you want them to feel comfortable. And what I have found is you get more bees with honey. I've done interviews where my hope is that I created such a safe space that they spilt tea about things that I didn't even intend to get into. Um, so everybody has a different style, and you just have to know what your style is. Do I think that Quad would have gone for a more, like, if he was gonna do a hard hitting interview? I don't know that Quad would have gone for it. Similarly, that's why I don't feel like Phaedra would ever do a recap with him, because I feel like Dr. Heavenly and Carlos, when they're doing their recaps, it's more of an exploration of the episode and general feelings about the episodes, so the dialogue is different. But that is my perspective based on what they have done. um I think what would have been more interesting would have been to see a dialogue with Quad, Dr. Heavenly, and Carlos. That would be good. Or a dialogue between Quad, Heavenly, and Funky Dineva. People, these are two individuals that know both parties very well. So that's why I say that. So I'm interested to see if that will ever happen. Um, because I think that it should. Okay. In order for them, Dr. Heavenly and Quad, to maybe fix whatever issues they have, or maybe they are not fixable. Maybe, as I've gleaned from Dr. Heavenly's live last night at the end, was that Quad, according to her, is a difficult friend to maintain a friendship with. So I feel like as you get older, you begin to desire friendships with people who are very easygoing, low maintenance friends. And it sounds like for Dr. Heavenly that Quad falls into the high maintenance friend category, wherein that person requires a lot of your energy, and sometimes it feels depleting. That's what I gathered, okay, based on what she said. I think the only other new thing for me that I gleaned from last night, outside of the pure entertainment of watching the two of them go back and forth in such a heated way, was the fact that Quad was asked to come back for the finale, and that Carlos, I believe, pretty much confirmed that she will be in no more episodes outside of the finale and, of course, the reunion. So Dr. Heavenly then confirms, well, everybody's invited to the finale. She mentioned Dr. Contessa being invited to the finale. She said, heck, maybe even Carrie Wells. I believe that's what she said. So I don't know. Everybody may be invited, but is everybody mic'd? Okay, that's the difference. So it appears as though Quad was mic'd, and they did put her in the mid-season trailer. So we do know that she will be back, that she was mic'd, which is probably more than we can say for an Anila if she was there. No shade, no shade. So I'm interested. Um, What did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy last night? I certainly did. And it's also good to know because you can see that the two of them are good friends and they can have that banter back and forth. Whereas everybody can't do that. It just kind of reminded me a little bit. I don't know why I was just harkening back to Wendy and Whitney Houston back in the day. Y'all remember that? That was some stuff right there. Um, but Dr. Heavenly and Carlos are definitely making some waves. We do know that Dr. Heavenly got a call from the network last week after she went live, and they obviously probably told her, girl, you're going to have to, simmer down a little bit, little baby. So let's move on to talk about Basketball Wives. And, I apologize if I sound a little stuffy because, as you guys know, most of you guys know I have the allergies. And today I woke up, baby, and I was sneezing nonstop like a freight train. Okay. Just like boom, sneeze, 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 sneeze. It was literally uncontrollable. So until I take something for it, it takes me a minute. So this video would have come out a little bit earlier, but I needed to get to a place where, okay, like we got this thing under control. Now I'm a little groggy, but we here nonetheless, baby. All right, so let's talk about Basketball Wives. I don't even know what episode it was. I think it was episode 11 of this particular season. Um, this is difficult because I felt like on a scale of 1 to 10, if I had to rate this episode, I would give it a 7. I was I was a little bored. Granted, we had a couple of things happen, but I just get the sense that because and I think it's also because we know that Vanessa doesn't show up to the reunion. The biggest thing I think to come out of this episode is the fact that Brittany, who we saw this coming for a long time. I told you she wouldn't make it to the end. I just felt like I had been feeling like this girl is not gonna make it. She's not gonna be around long enough. She don't know what show she on. And sure enough, by the end of the episode, she is quitting, taking off her mic pack, and not even finishing the scene with Jaseel. And to me, am I surprised? No. Do I feel like, personally speaking, I feel like she just didn't want to be there. And it's unfortunate because it felt to me interestingly enough, that Cleanna wanted to be there, but that she was fighting for some level of respect that I don't know that she really needed to fight for. And Brittany seemed to be along for the ride on Cleanna's train because Cleanna appeared to be the underdog and the new person in the group. Now, I'm not going to deny the fact that there are definitely different levels of hypocrisy that exists within this group dynamic, especially for the OGs. And by OGs, I mean some of the ones that have been there for a longer period of time than just this current season. But I also kind of feel like the girls, they seem to make a genuine effort to get to know Brittany, and it just feels like she just never really felt like she fit or was a part of the group. I can't call that, but I could definitely say in real life, go where you celebrate it. Do not spend time with people that are not, adding to your bottom line or creating or making you feel good about yourself or your life. So I don't fault her for leaving if she felt like that. But as a viewer, it felt like, girl, y'all should have had somebody on the backup. I mean, like, this was a waste of our time and energy and even getting to know you in any level on this platform, because I never really felt like she had both feet in the room. I felt like Brittany has always had one foot out the door. So I'm not necessarily sure what, like, and especially given that I've watched some of the interviews that she has done, it feels to me like, well, this seemed like the perfect environment for you. You know what I'm saying? But maybe she's in a space like Tammy and she was just ready to grow in a different way, and this was not for her. And for that, I can't be mad, okay? Because I ain't staying in nothing that don't make me feel good either. So, sayonara, sister, okay? As for the rest of the group, I mean, really much of the episode was centered around, Evelyn and this SB pop up for her bodysuit line, as well as making Levon feel as insignificant as possible. I mean, no, she's just clearly not interested in this man. And it very much shows throughout her interactions with him, even as he is helping her with this pop up. He gives her some flowers at the pop up, and she's just like, "Oh, thank you." And all the girls are like, "You didn't even give him a hug or a kiss." And she's like, "I don't do PDA." And Jennifer's like, "You girl, you hug me. So you could have at least given him a hug." And it's just like, you could tell there is no chemistry there. Girl, just hang it up. It's a wrap, flat line, all of that stuff. Chop, chop, chop. Jennifer and her man need to confront Vanessa over the stuff that she had been talking about Christian and his kids. And I felt like I agree with Evelyn. Like, I don't know that I would have needed to confront her because, I mean, he's a man, she's married, her husband wasn't there. And so you just never know how those situations can make someone feel, especially because it's Jennifer and him. But at the same time, I'm sure that some could argue that she probably shouldn't have been bringing up his kids in the first place if she really didn't want the smoke. So, and because I don't felt like he spoke to her in a threatening way, I just don't know. My question would be, though, if her husband were there, would he have approached her in the same way? And for some reason, I don't think so. Now, I like Christian. I like Christian with Jennifer, but I just got to be real about it as someone who has been in a situation where you may have offended the wife and you speak directly to the husband. Because to me, that's how men should be operating, to be perfectly clear. Now, I'm not saying that men and women can't have interactions, but I'm just thinking about proper protocol for me as a man. Okay. And I know not everybody feels the same way. Brooke is determined to try to figure out what's going on with her marriage. We don't really see her mixing it up with the girls that much. We get a lot of, Evelyn, Jackie, and Jennifer, as a trio. Jennifer even asked Evelyn and Jackie to be a part of her new movie, which is great. Especially considering where Jennifer and Jackie were last year with, producer gate. So that's a new thing. And what I did find interesting though was that Jackie's daughter Chantel is getting married, or she's engaged to a Knicks player. So Chantel will actually be a basketball wife as well. So you have two generations of basketball wives. Wouldn't it be neat to explore that dynamic on this show moving forward? What do you guys think about that? Like, I would be interested in seeing more of Chantel if we were going to get some of that at play, because it does harken back to the name of the show in general. The other thing that happens in this episode is, well, it's also interesting that she never told Jackie about this. Jackie has not met this man, and Chantel has been with this man for 3 years. So when y'all talk on the phone, what y'all be talking about? That was weird to me. It is what it is. But I would be interested in investigating this a bit more come next season. What I did get from this is, and the ladies are going to be traveling down to Houston because, Evelyn wants to meet with Shawnee's husband, Shawnee, maybe her, I don't know, to talk about what's gonna go on with her and Levon. I don't know why she need to talk to him, because I'm like, girl, you don't like him, and that's it. But Shawnee wants only the OGs to come, and I'm like, girl, it ain't nothing but OGs left on this show. Half the girls ain't make it. Clayana is, I, I, Clayana is fighting the air at this point, because there's nobody left to fight, and I don't know if she's gonna be invited back. I feel like we didn't really get to know her that well, which is unfortunate because she could have had a great story. I don't know. Vanessa, I don't think we'll see her again, beyond, this next upcoming episode. We know she's not at the reunion. Brittany done quit. So I'm like, why even come to the reunion at all? But I guess if Vanessa not there, they need somebody to, hopefully have some drama with. I mean, not hopefully, but we want a little something, some spice at the reunion, because otherwise, what else is there to talk about? There's no chance of Malaysia now coming back, at least anytime soon, because Malaysia's now going to be on her show on WeTV with Carlos King and the girls. So for me, I'm just looking like we need to do something with this show because it's getting boring. And I like basketball wives. And in fact, I put out a post asking y'all which ones y'all would prefer to watch if you could only watch one last season. And the last I checked, Basketball Wives Orlando was winning. Now let me go check it again just to make sure and see what it's given at this very moment that I'm filming this video, because of course that could change. And right now, let me get to it. Right now, oh, it's been changed. Basketball Wives Los Angeles is winning again. So at 57%, Basketball Wives Orlando 43%. But I'm gonna tell you guys, Basketball Wives Orlando has more going on. Now it does feel younger. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it just depends on what kind of drama you like. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that was the episode. I mean, outside of Brittany leaving, there was not really much else movement. Although we do think that Christian is likely going to propose in the next episode, which is the finale. I'm assuming that will be in about 2 weeks, because we got holidays on the Sunday Mondays of the next 2 weeks. So guys, I mean, what do you think is they're going to have to do for next season? I mean, something's got to change. Like, we need something. We need some fire back on this show, and that does not mean falling out fights, like knockdown, drag out fights, but it does mean that we need something to set this show on fire again. I thought it would be the inclusion of Evelyn, but is missing some. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts and reactions to some of what came out last night. Let me know what your thoughts are in the chatterization down below, and I will catch you all in the next video.